What's going on, everybody? It's Chris here, Better Investing. Happy Friday. Today is January 30th, 2026. I haven't made a video in a while. I was away for vacation. I was out there in Morocco, North Africa. It was a great time. Celebrating my birthday. I took two trades while I was out there. I had Rich Tech Robotics. Got a good move on it. I was hoping I can get a bigger move on it. And then I got stopped out yesterday, I want to say. And the other one, I did take silver trade. I think that was around like 106, around like 1 o'clock. I was in a hotel. I was just bullshitting around. All I had was my cell phone. I looked at it. I said, man, this thing might can fade here. And I had a nice little move on it. Didn't get that big of a move. But yeah, and then, I get back. I got back last night, and I'm not jet lagged because I stayed up the whole flight. I'm talking too much about that, but yeah, let's get back into. Let's just talk about the market. I wasn't here yesterday, so I don't know what this candle was. This is crazy in terms of volatility of what happened in the market. And I'm still catching up on macro shit. I don't 100% know, what's really been going on for the most part, honestly. Yeah, I know we have earnings that's kind of, taking, that's happening right now. But yeah, just some crazy moves, man. I mean, SPY. I'm pretty sure, like, if does this have, what is this? No. Where do I want to go? I want to see if I could show. All right, let's go here. All right, what am I trying to see? What's this right here? All right, here it is. All right, now can we expand this? Bang, here we go. That's what I wanted to see. So what has the range been doing on this chart? Okay, we've been perking up a little bit since these highs, I would say. I might have to slap like a moving average on this. You know what? Let me do this. What do I want to do? Yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, I want to do that. All right, now I can go back to this and try something new here, people. Hold on, give me a second. All right, we got that on. Maybe, can I add an indicator to it? Add. Yeah, I can. All right, cool. This is dope. All right, so let me go ahead and add the EMA. Let me see. All right, perfect. All right, just added two EMAs to here, and no, 9. I'm gonna make that color, and then I'm gonna make this to 20. I'm probably gonna look at this a little later. I'm just drawing some shit out really. And make this to 20. All right, perfect. All right, so what we have here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess what I'm trying to look for is a trend in the ATR. Like back here, you kind of had a little volatility trend in terms of range. All right, then the range kind of just broke down, wasn't doing shit. Right, not a lot of range. Now we're kind of like, I don't know. I have to look at that a little later. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the volatility, I mean, the volatility is starting to perk up, right? I mean, since the beginning of the year, Friday the 16th. I mean, it's kind of making higher lows, right? I'm saying that right? Look, I haven't been here for a while, so give me a break, right? But yeah, volatility is definitely perking up. You can see that there. You're starting to get some range on the indices here. Yeah, I don't trade the indices, anymore. I kind of just look at them. But yeah, I mean, real interesting type of candle, I would say. All right, looking at QQQ. Check out QQQ real fast. QQQ finished today down about 1%. We did come up. I think I talked about this in my last video before I left. I said, man, back here, what's it at? Where's the 100-day? If you looked at the 100-day, I said, man, this right here was probably a nice little washout for us to kind of pop back into these highs, which we did. So I can take out this bear gap. That's one thing I can do. I think it's probably best to kind of mark these highs back here, these previous highs. That's kind of where we stalled out at. Damn, we didn't even take it out. We probably took it out from a closing perspective. Let me see. All right, from a closing perspective, like we like right there. You can probably see that. No, can't see it there. Right, but yeah, from a closing perspective, we're like that's where kind of like where we rejected at from back up here. So yeah, I mean that's QQQ, right? Kind of almost a double top, probably potentially playing out. But I mean, at the same time, we look at it from here. Even these lows, I mean, we're still kind of still trending up, right? Uh, right. I think I could take off this. This is kind of played out. I mean, that's really like your shorter term trend from November. Right. So we get below like 613. You'd be a little more cautious. Right. We probably could pull back a little bit further. But looking at this, for the most part, I mean, like this is what you've gotten since October, since beginning of November on, QQQ. I mean, it hasn't really went anywhere, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? It's not really like trending. Like it's not a, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I see there. Back below the EMA 9 and the 20 on the daily. Really, I say like if you start to hang out and dangle around, below the 50, that's when you're a little bit more concerned. Looking here on the weekly chart real fast. Weekly, not the best candle you want to see at the top of a trend on some elevated volume, right? Based on this volume indicator I have here, right? It's kind of above. You kind of see the volume that's above the average, right? So you're starting to get some, I would say, distribution volume here at the top, but I'm not the one to sit here and call tops right here. All I try to do is just trade, and manage risk. So far, so good. So that's QQQ. Anything else I want to look at? Oh, let's go check out Bitcoin. Bitcoin just hasn't done anything. It's breaking back down, kind of wicked right into these previous lows back here from November. Just trading sideways at the bottom of this downtrend. I don't know which way this plays out, right? But I think there's a chance if we get back below 80, right, probably come test this area back here, 74 or 75 or so. Right back into these April areas though, the Trump thing. Go look at industrials really real fast. Industrials. All right, this is your Dow Jones industrials. You can kind of see the moving averages looking like it's ready to cross over. Right, a lot of volatility is kind of poking out here. Right, a lot of volatility is starting to show its head. Let's go check out IWM. All right, IWM. Okay, IWM came back into the spot I think I talked about right here. All right, so this is the area you kind of see when you want to see it hold. You want to see, if IWM is going to kind of lead the chart, you want to see it kind of hold this previous all-time high back here from December. This would be a nice little, all-time high breakout retest, right? If that's the case, you probably will look at some of the small cap stocks, see if they start running again. All right, that takes care of that. The big one was this silver, man. I played it to the long side, missed out on a short, yesterday. It looks like really could have got a good piece. And I was talking about it on X with a few folks, and people was like, "You don't short an uptrend." I'm like, "What the fuck are we talking about?" You tell that to people who haven't been trading, right? Don't short an uptrend. But I mean, for folks that's like a little more savvy and a little more, been around for a while, right? They've lost money trading, right? They've earned their stripes. I mean, honestly, here, let's make sure I've got no meetings. Hold on. Honestly, here, I mean, this move is vertical. And this is a vertical move that it had. And then today, I mean, this weekly candle you see here is just awful, right? Just blow off, right? And that's what I was trying to say to folks is like at some point the risk becomes being long, right? Because like when it does start to sell, we've seen this before. Well, it will sell off very quickly where a lot of traders are trying to get out, right? And that's where a lot of people start to short it as well. So you're not only battling people that's trying to sell because they've been long such a big move. You're also going to have people who are trying to get in on that selling and start to short sales as well. I mean short the shares as well, right? Try to get on the downside. I mean you see this candle here, it just gaps down. I mean you can't plan for that gap down, but I mean this is just straight nail in the coffin here. this brutal. Yeah, this is it's pretty much brutal. I mean, you can kind of mark these lows. Don't really see a clean setup. I do. You know, something I would take, something I would take for like a day trade. No, for sure. Will probably be this little reject up in here into the VWAP. All right, probably get back in. I probably would have stopped out somewhere as it pushed back up, right? And I probably looked at it again, up in here. But if I wasn't looking at it. I mean, gap down. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna fuck around with it here. Um, it gapping down this far. I'm like, I'm not too sure if that's something I really want to get active with. Um, Let me turn on this pre-market real fast. Let me see what pre-market was at. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy. I would want to get active with, but I was able to buy in right here. I bought some shares, and I wasn't risking the bottom of this range again. I trade intraday, so for really for me, like when I bought in around like 71.60. Let me see, where did I buy in at? 71.73. Right. So I kind of bought in. I bought in right at 145.05 is where I got in at. So right, this is like your 5 minute candle. Right when it broke over that, that's kind of like where I bought it. And for me, like I'm not risking all the way down here because I had 200 shares. I was risking pretty much like this low, like down here. It's kind of like if it started to push back down here, I'm just out. I'm just taking it all. Right. And I knew that like I wanted to do that because like I don't want to risk all the way down here and get back. You know, I don't want to risk that much on 200 shares. Right. I'm in at 71.70, right, on 200 shares. Right, I'm about to get back almost $400. So no, that's not what I'm doing. For me, it's like right back below here. Right, I'm risking not even $200. Half of that, $100. I'm risking. Right, we got a nice move. I was able to peel some off, and I took the rest off right here. If you go to the 5 minute, now I kind of let it work. Right, I was good. No big powerful candle here. All right, so I'm like, all right, let me see how much I can hold. All right, so I peeled off 150 shares up in here, and I left 50 on and see if this can ride out. See if I can ride out. Then once we got here later in the day, it's 3 o'clock, close below the EMAs. I just got out. Right, and it had some more pullback. Where I was like, I could have left a break even stop, but that could have got hit as well. But yeah, that was the one thing. I mean, solid trade. The other trade I took, this one's gonna hurt me, because I got a good entry on this. It was 656 is where I got in at. Um, so this was SanDisk, right? They had their earnings. Crazy move, man. This thing's just straight vertical, right? This is the daily chart here from this breakout from 280. From that breakout, right? This thing is absolutely ripped and is up over, you know, as of today's high, up over 130%. So I was watching this one, and again, this is when you don't need big size on a stock like this when it's moving $80 or so a day. So I didn't have a crazy amount of size. I only had about I had 50 shares or so. No, nope, I did not have 50 shares because even 50 shares that can go. I had 35 shares. I had 35 shares on this, and I wish I could have played this a little bit different. But yeah, I got in. Early in the morning. I waited, right, and I didn't want to just slap it right in the morning, right? Cause look at this push from 650 all the way up to 676, and this is why I see like you don't need a bunch of shares. Cause like say if you got in at 652 short, right, and you got 20 shares, that's $400 right there on fucking a 2 minute candle. Right, so you don't need a crazy amount of share. You don't need a crazy amount of shares for a big move. But once we kind of stalled out and we kind of rejected up here to these pre-market highs, and we got back below the VWAP, that's where I got short at, and I said my stop is 660. I just put it in my head, said 660. I'm getting out. Put the stop in. We got to move down. I peeled some off, right below 648. Got some more off near 645. Peeled a little bit more off around like the 640, like low 40s. Then I set my stop to break even, which was 56. And you can see this candle here. The high was 660. right? But I had my stop at 656, whatever my entry was, got stopped out, and then it just completely just continued to roll over. I don't think it really set up like really clean for the rest of the day. Looking at it, um, yeah, it didn't set up crazy clean into the rest of the day. But look at this, look at that. So this is a fucking like look at that. That's a say if you can get in right here, right? You buy 20 shares, 10 shares, right? Buy 10 shares, risking $100. You're up 300. You're up $300 on this move, type shit. Right? Came back and filled the gap. But yeah, um, really tough market, man. There's some things that works. There's some things that don't. This cipher just. I'd say I had issues with how this looked here. Right, I just don't really see this like really going back and taking out those highs like CMRL. I think this is one folks were kind of a little bullish on, but I just had a problem with this side of the move and seeing that happen. I think anywhere in here it makes a lower high, and comes back down. But maybe you can get back in somewhere nice little risk spot. It's a nice little pullback on the market on some things. So again, I'm not 100% blown that um, I'm not 100% blown like the market's done is over. No, I'm not there yet. Right, I just think this is some profit taken. I mean, some of these stocks have made big moves to kind of start the year off. Right, like you look at this stock here. I mean, from $7, it's up 200%. Of course you're going to see some profit taken. So, um, but a little interesting to see these fade off after some of the rare earth info that came out earlier this week. All right, so you got MP, you got USCR. Doesn't look that bad. Look like it's trying to hold up a little bit. Not the best looking chart there though. Roblox getting fucking smoked. God damn, this thing might have peeled all the way back. Let's go take a look. Unity. All right, this had some crazy news. Down 24% today. Damn. Yeah, some people were trying to bounce this. I just wasn't interested in trying to bounce. I mean, I don't want. It's below the 200. So I don't know. I get the mean reversion trade on it in terms of like the ATR extension, right? Like that big of a move. I mean, you're talking almost. I mean, it moves almost $2.81 a day. And this thing was down, damn near $8. So that's like the 3x ATR almost. 3 6 yeah, around 3x ATR. So I can see people trying to bounce it, but it was a little hard. I do see where you could possibly try. Like I think me personally, I probably would have tried here, right above this candle. We got stopped out, and then I would have tried here, looking at the 5 minute. So like I'll have the 5 minute up, like that. Like if we go to the 5 minute, like I'll have the 5 minute up, like this, and I'll be looking at the 5 minute, and same time. Oh, let me get rid of this. Let me save this real fast. I don't want that everywhere. Yeah. Right. I'll be looking at the 5 minute, and if we go back to like right here, where's this at? There we go. Right. I'll be looking at this 5 minute, and like we break like right here. I'll get in like right here. All right, and then rest down to there. All right. So I'm looking at the 5 minute, right? But I'm getting my entry off of like a smaller time frame. And that's just the way I like to trade. And I like to trade where a tight risk, and I get stopped out. It's not something that's not going to damage my account, and it allows me to take another entry, right? So like looking at this candle here, this 5 minute right here, right? I'll probably take it over this high right here, and then it rolls over. I'm stopping out really quick, really quick. But yeah, I mean that's what you got on the markets here, folks. But yeah, your boy's back. We'll see what we get in the market. It's a little crazy out there, I would say. Some shit working, some shit not. Very selective. That's what we call a stock picking market, right? I feel like this one. This one doesn't look too bad. It looks very controlled, I guess you can say. Right, it doesn't look very blow offish. Not 100%. Maybe like this just looks nasty, but yeah, I mean, these are ones where like just be a little cautious. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would say B looks similar, right? And this is one that it worked out, but like the other ones you tried, the core we like, I don't know. This doesn't look like it's done. Damn, is this? Oh, hmm, maybe what like the Irenes. I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, what did Rigetti do today? I know that some of the quantums. Yeah, like, look at the quantums. Like you see this big of a move and this big of a pullback. It's like, yeah, this is probably not going to go back to all time highs anytime soon. Um, ASTS BEs a little. Those are like the two ones that stand out. Like they pulled back and yeah, they just climbed higher. But you know, again, gotta be very selective on those type of those type of trades. So, but yeah, man, that's what we got here. Yeah, I mean that's what we got. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my Moderna. I'm still up pretty good. Um, I'm gonna wait till earnings. I'll figure out from there. Um, it wasn't like the whole market was just going crazy, like bad shit down though. Sometimes I'm not. I just think it could be some profit taking. And again, I didn't listen to the FMOC. I didn't even know. I thought it was Thursday. I was like overseas, like FMOC's tomorrow. And people like that shit just happened today. I'm like, oh, makes sense why I was getting tick alerts while I was away. Because I still get the tick alerts to my phone. I'm like, okay, tick alert. I didn't know that was going on. RCAT. This is one I think I want to get involved with long term. I got to do some more research on that. This is a nice, nice little trade, but I think this is probably done. Oh, while the market's selling off, I took some loans on Adobe. I'm in down here, and I'm willing and I'm hoping this will go lower because you know, I'll buy more. But yeah, this is a stock that I'm in. Appy, App Lovin', damn, fucking crushed. Carvana, what did this do today? Getting there. It just has to set up now. I mean, you need to set up on it. Damn, boy, was this going crazy. Ooh. I bought this gap up here and sold it the following day. Damn. They just gotta leave a few soldiers out there, man, to keep scoping the scene. Oh, this weed ETF, and man, that thing pissing me off. Damn. When the fuck did cruise lines get going? Interesting. Yeah, that's really about it for me, folks. So, but all right, man. Peace. God bless, man. Hope you guys had a safe trading week. Talk to you next week.